You won't frequently hear that history's richest man was a black, a king called Mansa Musa, whose wealth had bewildered historians of the time. But why couldn't you know more about this king? Well, the answer is quite simple. Since he was black, manifesting that blacks had even the financial superiority in ancient times, jealousy overtook in non-blacks. Hence, Mansa Musa's wealth and life were taken off of the history books. But how wealthy was Mansa Musa actually? Is there any scale that can calculate the amount of fortune, gold, silver, and wealth he held? You can try to estimate his wealth by knowing that once he passed through Cairo, Egypt, and distributed gold bars and coins among the people. This unbalanced the gold prices in Cairo, and the economy stayed sunk for over a decade. But who was Mansa Musa, and how did he accumulate an insane amount of wealth? Welcome to a new episode of Black Culture Diary, a channel where we talk about the people that are evidently ancestors of and superior to everyone, the black. We scrutinize history here to bring the black culture back on the surface again. In this episode, we will tell you about the forgotten, mysterious life of history's richest man, a black named Mansa Musa. Let's get started. Mansa Musa, the legendary king of the Mali Empire, was born into a family of rulers and nobles in 1280 AD. Despite his impressive lineage, much of what we know about his family history comes from the writings of Arab scholars like Al-Umari, Ibn Battuta, and Ibn Khaldun. They wrote that Musa's grandfather was Abu Bakr Kata, who was the nephew of Sundiata Keita, the man credited with founding the Malian Empire. However, neither Musa's grandfather nor his father played any crucial roles in Mali's history or ascended to the throne. Instead, Musa's brother, Mansa Abu Bakr II, ruled the Mali Empire before Mansa Musa got power. During Abu Bakr's reign, the empire controlled a substantial portion of the former Ghana Empire's territory. Musa served as his brother's deputy and achieved titles like the Lord of the Mines of Wangara, Conqueror of Granada, and Emir of Mel. In 1312, Abu Bakr decided to embark on a voyage to explore the Atlantic Ocean with a fleet of 2,000 ships and thousands of people. Historians write that Abu Bakr was deeply obsessed with finding what lies beyond the Atlantic Ocean. However, he and his companions never returned from the voyage, leaving Mansa Musa as his brother's successor at the age of 32. Musa became the 9th Mansa or conqueror of the Mali Empire and proved to be a highly successful military leader. Under his reign, the Mali Empire expanded significantly, and he conquered 24 cities, including the famous Timbuktu. His conquests extended the kingdom for about 2,000 miles, stretching from the Atlantic Ocean to modern-day Niger, including territories in Senegal, Mauritania, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, the Gambia, and the Ivory Coast. Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on black culture, history, civilization, and natural superiority. Let's continue now. With such expanded territories came a massive amount of precious metals buried in them. Hence, the empire's territory brought in abundant resources like gold, ivory, and salt, making the Mali Empire the world's leading custodian of almost half of the old world's gold, according to the British Museum. And this gold belonged to the king, Mansa Musa himself. He could use it any way he wanted, spend it on his luxury, or use it to make his empire prosperous and most civilized. That's why Mansa Musa's reign was one of the most thriving periods in the empire's history. He left an indelible mark on African history as a visionary leader who expanded his empire and its riches. During his reign, gold was the most highly valued source of wealth in the medieval world. As the ruler of Mali, Musa had unlimited access to it and other precious resources. Not only that, but his conquest brought major trading centers that traded in gold and other goods, accumulating even more riches from this trade. At the peak of the Mali Empire, Mansa Musa had a net worth equivalent to the modern-day $400 billion, a net worth no individual has yet reached. During that time, no one from the Mali Empire or the surrounding empires had ever gone on a pilgrimage to Mecca. It was nearly impossible because setting out on a long and unending journey like this took courage and an excess amount of money. Mansa Musa had both. Hence, he embarked on a pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324, which was one of the most notable events of his rule. At the time, Mali was a leading source of gold, but Mansa Musa's Hajj was not widely known. However, this changed as he and his caravan, consisting of 60,000 men, including his entire royal court, officials, soldiers, merchants, camel drivers, and 12,000 slaves, as well as a long train of goats and sheep for food, passed through the Sahara Desert and Egypt. The caravan was breathtaking, with everyone, including the slaves, adorned in gold brocade and Persian silk. Hundreds of camels carrying hundreds of pounds of pure gold could be seen in Mansa Musa's caravan. Yet the true splendor of the caravan was not fully appreciated until they reached Cairo, where they camped for 3 days at the pyramids of Giza before crossing the Nile into the city. Musa met Sultan al-Nasir Muhammad, who expected him to bow before him, but Musa initially refused, saying he was bowing for God alone. They eventually exchanged gifts, and Musa stayed in Cairo for 3 months, where he befriended the city's governor, Ibn Amir Hajib, who learned much about Mali from him. Musa then departed for Mecca after his stay in Cairo. After Mansa Musa's historic pilgrimage to Mecca, his reputation spread far and wide. 12 years later, when Al-Mari visited Cairo, he was amazed by how much the people there spoke of Musa. This shows that Musa left a lasting impression during his 3-month stay in Cairo. Musa was known for his generosity, and he lavishly gave so much gold to the people of Cairo that the price of gold fell for 10 years, damaging the economy. The king's pilgrimage to Mecca was not without difficulties, and conflict broke out between Malian and Turkic pilgrims at Masjid al-Haram. But Musa's diplomacy avoided bloodshed. Musa and his attendants encountered many hardships during the return journey, losing supplies and facing starvation. According to some accounts, he had to borrow gold from lenders and merchants in Cairo, paying high interest rates. Despite the challenges, Musa's generosity made him popular, and the Mali Empire gained international recognition. But Musa's fame wasn't limited to only gold. His love for education and encouragement of the arts and architecture is evident in his bringing Islamic scholars to his kingdom, including the architect Abu Ishaq al-Sahili, who designed the famous Jingwareber Mosque. Musa built schools, libraries, and mosques, and Timbuktu became a center of trade, culture, and education. The University of Sankore, which developed one of the largest libraries in the world, was founded during Musa's reign, with roughly 1 million manuscripts, rivaling the Library of Alexandria. Timbuktu had gained such an illustrious reputation that merchants in cities like Venice and Genoa began including it in their trade routes. Mansa Musa is often attributed to initiating the tradition of education in West Africa, and is widely recognized as one of the wealthiest historical figures, partly due to the significant gold production during his reign. After ruling for many years, Mansa Musa passed away in 1337 at the age of 57, leaving his empire to his sons. However, they were unable to maintain it, eventually breaking it, leading to the downfall of the once great empire. In the end, the arrival of the Europeans in the area brought about the final collapse of the empire. Do you think there is any person today in the world wealthier than Mansa Musa? Or was he the only person ever to have such massive wealth? Can there be someone richer than him? Tell us in the comment section right below. Isn't it striking that Mansa Musa's wealth outweighed the economies of various empires of that time?